Hey everyone, Noodle here. We've been doing a lot of weather station reviews on this channel lately, and today I have another one for you. This is the NUKE zone weather station, and it is one of the rewards on the new scoreboard, the Scientific Forge. It is on page 8, and unfortunately it is a Fallout First only. You can purchase it for 60 tickets if you are a Fallout First player. Now, I don't personally have this weather station, but Oscap does. So I'm going to switch to his character and deploy this thing and demonstrate it so we can talk about the effects as they appear on the screen. Looks like currently Oscap is rocking the Atlantic City weather station, the Atlantic City Fog, which is one of my favorite weather stations. This and also the new Aurora station I really like. But we're going to take it away and deploy the NUKE zone. And this is what it actually looks like without the weather station. It's a nice clear day, perfect for us to demonstrate new effects. And there it is. It is huge. This thing is enormous. It does not follow the regular look of a weather station. It actually looks like a fat man nuke. The textures on it, the actual skin of the weather station is absolutely gorgeous. Let's see what it does in terms of weather effects. Right away, we see a pretty realistic nuclear blast orange sky, very impressive, and the eerie, windy sound that comes with it. This is a sound that's very familiar to us in actual nuke zones in the game, though it's not as intense. We've been getting a lot of reports on the weather effects being too loud with all weather stations. Now, the Halloween weather station has been adjusted, but even the Aurora weather station, which I love so much, most of you are reporting is too loud for your taste. So let me know in the comments what you think about this one. I will play for you the sound in the intensity that we hear it. And if you don't have this yet, just let me know what you think about what you're hearing right now, if it's too loud or if this is okay. And also, if you already own this thing and you have your own experiences with it, also let me know in the comments if you think it's too loud or not. Additionally, you can also adjust your in-game sounds. So if you feel like the game effects are too loud, you can adjust that in your main menu, which is actually what I do most of the time. All right, so the creepy wind and the sky seem very realistic to me. Crazy cool. Love how the actual weather station looks like for a proper wasteland camp, as Oscap's is, or any kind of a junkyard camp or an enclave camp. This will be an actual interesting installation. I find that our standard weather stations are kind of weird looking. I try to hide mine all the time, unless it's like the snowman winter station, because it looks like a snowman. But the standard ones, I always hide them. They're kind of ugly. This thing is intimidating and impressive and has this lightning effect on top, which is very cool. And the other thing that I'm seeing here is just how harsh the wind is in the space around us. Look at the leaves. This is a properly uncomfortable space. I think so far it's depicting the nuclear blast zone quite accurately. But as I descend down from the roof and look at the rest of the camp, I am surprised to see how the visual effects are changing closer to the ground. Down here on ground level, it doesn't feel like an obvious nuke zone to me. I mean, granted, I don't actually want 100% nuke zone in my camp because nuke zones in our game are really, really freaking annoying and obnoxiously loud. We definitely don't want that in our camp. So I think it's really good that they toned it down a little bit, but I think maybe they toned it down too much. Again, I'm not sure. I have to live with this thing for a little bit, or actually I'm going to force Oscap to live with it for a little bit, and then I'll hang out in his camp and see how I feel about this thing. But so far down on the ground, it's kind of hazy, but it's kind of green also, up above close to the sky, and in the tree canopy, it was obviously orange, but close to the ground, I don't see the leaves moving on the lower trees. I don't see the grass moving much more significantly than it usually does, so it doesn't really feel stormy close to the ground. It is extremely hazy, almost too hazy to see anything. And for some reason, everything looks more green to me than orange. There's still orange just because of the light sources. But overall, the ambiance is a hazy green. I'm a little bit confused about this. But here, as we enter the house, the confusion intensifies because all of a sudden, in a house that is actually normally quite poorly lit, all of a sudden we get like really cold, bright, white department store lighting. What is up with that? Oscap's camp is notorious for poor, low orange lighting. He can never find a good spot to sit on the couch so that he's properly illuminated. Sometimes he even deploys separate light sources just so that he can talk to the members in his private streams. But all of a sudden, with this weather station, the entire look of the interior has completely changed. His light sources are all warm light sources except for that TV screen, but he's using candles, he's using oil lamps. There's nothing here that should give off this cool white light, yet all of a sudden there it is. The mood of the house is completely changed. Over here in the workbench area, we can see the weather coming through the window. We see these creepy rays, a little bit more of that haze, and of course, the classic orange nuke zone sky. And that's a really nice detail. So yeah, it's not inside the house, and I suppose that's kind of believable, but not in the case of this structure. It's so holy. We have actual holes in the walls. We have destroyed windows. We have mesh for walls. This structure shouldn't contain white light from some unknown source. I don't know. They did something weird here that I can't put my finger on. And going outside again into the strangely green haze, let's just take one quick look at our main light source. That's where the sun is coming from right now. And this is the kind of rays that we're going to get shining through the canopy of the trees. Again, not really sure if this screams nuke blast zone to me. I would expect something like ash in the air. A little bit more desolate, a little bit less glamorous on the glow in the sky, and definitely not so weird with the color grading that changes from level to level in the camp. So I'm gonna let this thing run. I'm gonna make Oscap live with it for the next couple of weeks, and if there are any updates to how we feel about it, we will let you know. But for now, I'm curious to hear from you what you think of this thing. Is this something new and exciting? Is it better than the Atlantic Fog Station? Is it better than the Thunderstorm Station? I know that a lot of you did not like the Aurora Station, but many of you liked the Falling Leaves with the nice glowing orange sky. I think their heart was in the right place. Definitely a nuke blast zone ambiance is something that's fitting with the lore, that's fitting with the setting, and of course the delivery mechanism itself is absolutely gorgeous. But did they miss the mark again? It seems like weather stations are just really difficult for Bethesda. Like, they try so hard and they try to give us all these different variations, and it never quite hits the mark, does it? Also, do you think it's worth grinding for, and is it okay for them to hide things like that behind the Fallout First membership? Let me know in the comments. I hope this was interesting and entertaining for you guys. Noodle Pants, one half of Game Aviator. Next time, I'll review more items on the season scoreboard, and until then, stay safe out there, Vault Dwellers.
The shadows creep and sway, lies a land of rusted dreams where the brave dare not stray. Appalachia, oh, it's a treacherous ride with dangers untold and no